Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios. Back here in the Black Hills of South Dakota, I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And I am back from my trip. I just pulled in not too long ago, sat down to do my videos. I am exhausted, so I am going to. I did look over the charts, try to get a feel for what happened today, and so I'll kind of give that to you. I had a wonderful trip. Thank you to everyone I got to talk to. Uh, Once again, thanks to Brian for hanging out with me for a night, having steak with me. That was awesome. And look forward to getting back to work now, kind of getting back at it. I kind of feel out of the loop a little bit, so I'm looking forward to watching the markets tomorrow and trying to catch up on everything. Had people sign up for my newsletter lately. If you have not received an email from me telling you how to get to my subscribers area, please email me, let me know, or check your spams. Every once in a while, my initial emails to everyone go to a spam folder, whatever, until you give me the okay on the email address. So might want to check that if you have not received a notice from me on how to get to the subscribers section. All right, let's break into it. The Dow on a 60 minute. Here you can see, here's today's action. I told you over the weekend that I was looking for maybe a small move up and then a move back to the downside. And then I thought maybe we would hit that 10, 20-ish area maybe on the SPX. Looking at the charts today, maybe we've already bottomed. I don't know. And the reason, and I told you that the timeline would be the toughest thing to figure out, and it's still the toughest thing to figure out. Maybe we finish up tomorrow. I'll tell you, I like Wednesdays for reversals. I like Wednesday afternoons for reversals, but everything right now is looking like we're very, very close to whatever the end of this particular wave or whatever you want to call it is. Anyway, the point of the matter is, I think within the next 20, 30 points on the SPX, we're going to be heading back to the upside again. I think if the Dow gets up and over this little area here, that will confirm it for me. We'll have a little larger move to the upside again, maybe back up into this area, who knows. But look how every one of these charts on the 60 minute are now starting to form this little falling wedge formation. Very common, very expected, and a break of that would is usually bullish for the particular stock. So we're going to keep our eye on the indices. We're going to keep our eye on these little falling wedges that are now starting to form. Now it could come back down here to the bottom, come back up, it could just kind of wiggle its way down this wedge for a while before it finally pops. If that happens, then we will reach that 10-20 area on the SPX, but there's a couple other things we should look at as well. So anyway, the Dow is doing this on a 60 minute, making this little wedge formation. Overall, here's the larger channel that we're keeping our eye on. We'll see just once it breaks this trend line here, we'll see how much further it pops to the upside. I think it's, coming within the next couple days. We'll see a little larger move here, maybe back up to the upside. This will be the one to really watch too. This is going to be of great interest to us traders here, is how far up we go, back up this ladder. The Dow on a daily looks today like it moved up. Well, kind of did, I guess, what I had somewhat predicted, and that was a little move up in the morning, then move back down. Now it had the little move up. I was kind of expecting more of a little move up in the morning and then a more major move down. I didn't think the Dow itself would make this area, but the other indices I think did. So I'm looking for the Dow to maybe make 9600 area. If we continue down any further than this, I think 9600 is a good area to be looking for a little bounce on the Dow. But it is outside of this channel and it's resting right on top of its 50-day moving average, which is still a little above where some of the other ones are. And this is the NDX. This is that descending, that falling wedge I was telling you about. Looking for a break up and above this, ultimately above 1690. Might get it bullish in the short term or long term. Don't know yet because we have to wait and see how far this bounce goes when we get it. But we're looking for it maybe to hang inside this wedge here. It could bust out tomorrow morning. I don't know. Once again, time frame is I don't time frame is just whenever the markets decide to do it. So I can never be totally accurate on my time frames. I just tell you, take a look and watch these, and then when it happens, it happens. So we'll let the markets decide for us. But I think this bust could happen very, very shortly. Within the next day or two, I think we'll see this thing break above this trend line here and start maybe a little bit more, little bit bigger move to the upside. Don't know if it'll reach the highs again, but that's certainly what we're going to be watching going forward. So here's that little falling wedge on the NASDAQ. Move ahead to the daily. You can see we've broke the 50. Now here's an interesting look. I want to show you this really quick. Notice how we came down, broke this channel, broke the 50. The next day we went up above the 50, and then the following day we broke down below the 50. Well, look what the Dow's doing. The Dow came down to the 50, moved back up and closed above the 50, and now maybe tomorrow it moves down below the 50. And it might bounce back up above it. We'll see what happens by the end of the day. But you can see how the Dow seems to be following the other two indices, but lagging it by maybe a day or two. The NASDAQ, anyway, came back down and hit this line. I told you to look for it to hit this line, find support. This is ultimately where I thought a little larger move to the upside or a little pullback might happen. Looks like you got that bounce off that line today, so I hope you guys were all watching that. So the NASDAQ has really completed everything I expected it to complete. For all practical purposes, it can skyrocket tomorrow. It can bounce up tomorrow. The NASDAQ can. And maybe start to look at it back up into these areas here. We'll see what happens when it gets back up here. But I would certainly be looking for this area here to be resistance. Then once again up here to be resistance. As the NASDAQ moves upwards. NDX on a weekly, you can see us resting right on this support line. It's Monday. I don't care about the weekly candles so much right now. The SPX on a 60-minute, here's the little larger channel it was in. Here's the break of the channel, and now you can see it kind of starting to make that little falling wedge formation that all the other ones are starting to make. Did have a nice move down here to 1029 today. That's pretty darn close to my target of this 1020-ish area. So I guess for all purposes, it's fulfilled kind of where I thought it was going to go. You can see we had the move up in the morning. We had the move down later on in the day. The move up, I guess not a surprise. It's like I said, hard to figure these out. I was kind of thinking that maybe we would move up and then this big move down would take us all the way to the 1020 area. It stopped short, so about 10 points short. Maybe there's still a little bit more downwards action to go here as it works its way down this wedge. I don't know. But watch this going forward. This little blue line here that comes down here, and then this little line here down below, and see we're looking for a break up and over maybe the 1055 or 1060 area ultimately. SPX on a daily, you can see where it tested its lower line here. So looking on a daily time frame, 1020 is right down here. If we still see some weakness tomorrow, I really do think that we may touch and test this 1020 area. Just have to wait and see. Whatever the market does, it does. We're watching that wedge on the 60-minute. Watch that for direction. My subscribers, I will most certainly be sending out intraday emails to you, letting you know when I see something happen or when a break of that happens, or if the break might be a fake out breakout when it does break and we still get some downside action. I'll let you guys know. I'll send you an email on that. The SPX on a weekly, we broke this rising wedge here, and you can see us below this previous what was resistance here. Kind of became support, but didn't hold very long. So it's now resistance again, but we're 1 day into it, so I don't care about the weeklies too much right now. VIX on a daily moved down, but more or less sideways. Really, I mean, it says a move down, 3% down, but kind of sideways in the grand scheme of things. Weekly, same deal. So it's just sitting up here right now. We'll see where this is at the end of the week. It might give us a little bit more direction. Would make sense to maybe have a little pullback here, and that would make for a little bit more of a larger move up in the markets. But we'll let the markets make up its mind for us. Apple on a